Hey folks, Jason here. Welcome back everybody. How you been? I've been okay. Got something to show you here, which is why I've invited you in here. But before I get to that, just some quick banter. Um, the sugar and caffeine thing is real. Long story short, I missed my daily 5 pounds of sugar last Saturday, and by Saturday night, I was suffering a crippling, almost debilitating migraine, and I finally figured out what was going on. As a result of that, I was actually inspired to continue with the depriving myself of said sugar and caffeine. And for the next 36 to 48 hours, I was a mess. I mean, this stuff is real. The withdrawal symptoms are as bad as other things. In fact, sugar is noted as being as addicting as cocaine. So this stuff is bad, it's real. And when I say I cut out sugar, that means I'm not avoiding it if it's already in, like oatmeal, right? You get a couple packs of oatmeal, it's got some sugar in there. Am I not going to eat the oatmeal because there's sugar in there? No, I'm going to eat the oatmeal. But no more Red Bull every morning for breakfast. No more soda 15 times throughout the day. No more sweet tooths every time I eat something because I've crashed already from the, it got out of hand. And yeah, so I'm going to be all the better for it in the long run. Now back to more important matters at hand. I don't know if this means anything to you, but Dash of Elan, if it doesn't, go to YouTube, check it out. It is a gentleman's channel. He's been doing this for about 5 years now, and I haven't been watching him that long, admittedly, but the stuff he's put up, generally pretty good. He did a playthrough, actually, of a PC game, which is not your standard operating procedure for him, and I don't typically take an interest in PC games for a whole number of reasons I'm not going to get into. But the more I watched this thing, the more I couldn't stop watching, and lo and behold, to my joy and celebration, the PC game I was watching, it turns out there's a board game for it, and I had no idea. I didn't even know this thing existed. So this was all a big surprise to me. And that is Victory and Glory Napoleon. Big box, huge. I don't have small hands, and this thing is gigantic. Came today, got it off of eBay. Now, when I placed the order, I started getting a little concerned because what apparently happened, and I don't know the full story. I posted on Board Game Geek. Usually, somebody responds, nobody, crickets, echoes, about what I could expect with this order. Why was I worried? Because this thing was kickstarted. Apparently, everything that this was promised, the way it was advertised, the end result didn't quite match up with that. Some people were disappointed. I understand. There's also the standard basic set and then the deluxe set. And again, to the best of my knowledge that I could glean from information, was that the deluxe set has some meeples you can use, which I don't want the stinking meeples, so I could live without that. But it did have some really cool 2 or 3 maps, really big maps of the type that you would see in, say, the Napoleonic War Atlas from West Point, but blown up really big, and those would be cool for making your own game. But other than that, I'm not really sure what I need or what I'm missing. I do have a couple of concerns, which is why I'm anxious to open this. I got this today, and I can't wait. So without further ado, I'm going to bring it down so you can see. I've got the 1812 Overture in the background. And let's see what we got here. Victory and Glory, Napoleon. This is Forbidden Games. I don't know what the hey-hoo of Forbidden Games is. But yeah, the designer, some people are familiar with him. I don't think he's brand spanking new to the game, pun intended, but I'm not familiar with him. So right off the bat, I'm impressed with the box, the artwork, and this might be a superficial thing, but it's important to me. There's the back, and wow, That new game smell, almost as good as a new car smell. Probably better. Boom. Ah, now you really get to smell. Cat gets to sit in the box lid. There you go. Come on, you know you can't resist. Really? She'll be in there. Rules. Surprisingly thin on the rules, and that coincides perhaps with a concern I had that this game was really supposedly fairly heavy and detailed, and the designer decided it was just too much, and so he watered it down. Shame. Nevertheless, I have found online the rule book to the PC version, so anything I'm not happy with in here, I will amend with the rules from the PC version, i.e. detail. So the rules are, again, they're only, I'm looking at 10 pages here. One page is charts, so not overly exhausting. I don't know what's going on here. So really probably about 6 or 7 full text pages altogether if you pack it. Rule book, as to be expected. Counters. Now again, in anticipation of this, didn't know how many counters I was going to get or needed, so I used my old backup standby method of Risk. The Risk games that had the Napoleonic figures. I got one of those on the way, will be here tomorrow. And I used the miniatures from those for things like this. I've also used it for Commands and Colors Napoleonics. I have a video of that from back in the day. Works out great. But we'll be incorporating those in some way, shape, or form. And not that this is bad. It's not. But I would prefer some Scrabble pieces with some Napoleonic figures or something to that effect. Now the ships, there are naval battles in this. I don't know that I will be able to do too much changing to the naval aspect of this, but we'll see. So there's one counter sheet, there's another counter sheet. God, that smell. Alright. If that's all the counters we get, that's a little concerning, but it shouldn't be. Okay, here's one of the map panels. And this map, they didn't skimp on the map, that's for sure. I can't even, so here's one part of, it's in 3 folding sections. 1, 2, 3. And that is one side panel. This is going to warp in no time in this hell of humidity that I live in. Another, this would be, I guess, the centerpiece, bottom panel, center panel, upper panel. I heard one complaint that the water seas on this map are not blue, and he would not buy the game unless the map had blue seas. I feel your pain, but Jesus, I think you're missing out based on that. And another concern I have, and this may be valid, okay, we got the little wooden cubes. I'm content with those. Cards, looks like I don't know. 3 decks of cards, which I will learn. Oh, there's different dates, so the cards coincide with a chronological ordering of the game. So if you play a certain era, you'll use a certain deck of cards, I presume. What else was I going to say? I forget. Man, what a drag. Why do I say what a drag? Because this is what I feared, and I've proven myself unfortunately correct. And I'm going to chalk this off as a negative. I'm going to look thoroughly here. Thoroughly. Here. What should be included and is not, I assume it is included in the deluxe version, or the grandiose Kickstarter version, is 2 battle boards. One would be for the naval fights and one for land battles. And those are what you use to conduct battles, and the fact that that isn't in here is really baffling. And that is not the end of the world, because I'm crafty enough to devise my own. I've already thought about how I would do it, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't wasting my time before I did so. But yep, it appears I'll have to do it. I will need that, because if you watch the PC game, Head to Dash of Elan, you'll see why. It's integral, in my opinion, to the function of these battles, and I'm not really sure how he could not have put it in here. Again, he must have really watered down, the designer, the battles, and what else was watered down to that extent. Anyway, as far as satisfaction at this point, having not played it, I'm going to give it a B, maybe a B minus. I'm fairly disappointed about not having those battle boards included. But the production value is nice, packaging is nice. Haven't read the rule book, obviously. So we'll leave it at that for now, and maybe if I can devise some battle boards and get this thing going, I can talk more at length about the game and how it works. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but it is it's cool in so much as it's not just tactical and it's not just strategic. You have both. So the big map board is where you maneuver strategically, and then when you have battles, at least when I will have battles, I will be moving, abstracting that battle on the strategic map board to the tactical battle board. So that's the way I'm playing it. That's the way I've seen it played. I don't know why it's like that in the standard game. That irritates me, but you know, life is not perfect. So there you go. I got this off of eBay. I don't know if it's still in production or out of print. You can go to, what is this? This is Forbidden Games. Just type in Forbidden Games, and you could probably go there, or eBay. Again, that's where I got it. I don't remember if there's any on Board Game Geek. I think your standard go-tos like Cool Stuff, Miniature Market, etc. I want to say that they're all sold out. I think I already checked them. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you next time.